if the planning is there and your vision is right, where at the end of the day you want to have integrated solution, I think in a matter of time, you got it. Things in place. Yeah.
Okay, Philip. Yeah.
I just want to address another issue on the border control system, where Mr. Samuel has pointed out that they have now introduced the border pass system.
And secure overall solutions is the key cornerstone to make a system you implement now sound and proof for the coming years. Thank you.
Okay. So, would anyone else like to comment on that? Morgan, yeah.
Yes, I think that is a very important point. What you said is that technology is available, and currently you can find anything on the market.
Is the event useful for you?
Very. In fact, at the moment we are dealing with major issues that we discussed here. We are at the final stage of deciding on our border control system, on the ePassport system, and it's very important for us to know what are the other experiences so that we can see how best to avoid bottlenecks and problem areas and integrate the systems.
In terms of specific issues in the discussion, were there any topics that were highlighted that you found particularly useful?
Yeah, for me, of course, the current issue of border control, which Namibia is following, is of high interest. Yeah, and also this will be followed by this afternoon's discussion with members of the Ministry of Home Affairs.
And in terms of, you mentioned some of the panellists, were there any specific panellists whose views you found particularly relevant or particularly interesting?
Well, Mr. Guasep's views, of course, are of high interest to me. Yeah, and the industry views, we exchange each other very often. But to me, it is important what is the opinion of the ministry itself, of the people who make the decisions. And therefore, it is always worthwhile talking to them and listening to them. And yeah, that was for me the biggest benefit.
Did you find the forum useful for you?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much. I think the efforts of eStrategies were very well founded and very well received. And I have to admit that in general, the level of input from the panel was very interesting for our particular business as Optaglio.
In terms of the input from the panellists, the topics that were discussed, the forum in general, how do you see that helping you with some of the future strategies as you address this region?
Oh, very much so. I have a team of sales managers that deal with South Africa, or the South African countries, and they are specifically focused, and with the feedback from here I'll take it back and brief them, and the information that I take back will no doubt help them to focus and evolve their strategies and their own strategies in direct contact to the relevant ministerial personnel who are responsible for the rollout of any project.
Were there any specific topics that were discussed in the roundtable that were particularly relevant for you?
Yes, I was particularly interested in the physical systems which some of the vendors could display, and how the systems can be used, how they can be used to improve the passports and the IDs, and not just for border purposes, but also for national identity purposes.
So Morgan, thank you very much for coming. Was the event useful for you?
Yeah, very useful. Actually, it's a good opportunity to share experience on all the projects we have implemented, and to explain what are the difficulties we could have encountered, and to share this experience with any country that is ready to implement a new electronic document. So it's a very important meeting for us.
Would you summarize the event as a useful experience for you?
Yeah, that was useful, and also that's interesting for sharing with either private sector or public sector. And I think at the time when everybody knows everybody and what we can do together, it makes things simpler for everybody. So it's a good experience.
In light of that, were there any specific panellists whose views you found particularly important or relevant to you?
Yes, Matthias has raised a very good point. Also, our PS Samuel has also raised a couple of points. Airport aviation have also raised a good couple of points, so that they can. It's all about integration, and this is what we're trying to push, so that we can achieve the whole e-governance point of view. Look at the citizen point of view and see what benefits they get out from all the different type of systems that we have. So it was very, very useful.
Okay. Was the forum useful for you?
Yeah, the forum was quite useful. I mean, to bring together the users and the makers of the systems is quite good, so that they can exchange views, so that it makes it easier for implementation of systems in the future.
Did you find that aspect of the relationship building between the users and the suppliers of the technology useful for you then in terms of your future work?
Yes, it was quite useful. My division currently is at the crossroad of replacing a border control system, and the inputs from here will definitely enrich that process.